Hello, distinguished viewers. Good day. My name is Adesola Ogunbanjo, a 200 level law student of Olabisi Onabanjo University and an undergraduate intern at Solicitors. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you all on a short yet detailed journey into the legal insight on collocation and infrastructure sharing in Nigeria. But before I do, I'd like to make certain conceptual clarifications, as this will clear the cobweb and situate a better understanding of what I'm going to be discussing basically. To start with, in a bid to reduce the operational expenditure and capital expenditure and also increase the quality of services in the telecommunication industry, telecommunication operators have scouted several ways to ensure that they reach their prospective customers in a cost-effective and cost-efficient manner. One of these ways is collocation and infrastructure sharing. It is expedient to note that the principal legislation regulating telecommunication, internet services, and ICT in Nigeria is the Nigerian Communication Act, hereinafter referred to as NCA 2003, which established the Nigerian Communication Commission as a regulatory body. By the virtue of Section 70 of NCA 2003, the NCC is mandated to make and publish guidelines on matters for which the Act makes express provisions for. Hence, the subsidiary legislation, which is guideline on collocation and infrastructure sharing. Now, what is collocation? As stipulated under Guideline 18 of Guideline on Collocation and Infrastructure Sharing, collocation is the placement of transmission equipment owned by interconnection demanding operator in the premises of an interconnection providing operator for interconnection to the operator's network. In a more simplified way, under paragraph 15 of Guideline on Technical Specification for Installation of Telecommunication Mast and Tower, collocation has been defined to mean the use of a single telecommunication mast or site by more than one telecommunication operator. Now, infrastructure sharing, on the other hand, is the joint use of network facilities by more than one telecommunication operator, subject to agreements stipulating relevant technical and commercial consideration. In other words, infrastructure sharing has been defined to mean the mutual agreement between two or more network service providers to jointly use their network facilities. Now, speaking of collocation, when a telecommunication operator contemplates collocation, there are two options made available to such telecommunication operator. We have the operator-to-operator agreement, where after signing the collocation agreement with another operator, an operator offers a space on its tower infrastructure to another telecommunication operator. For instance, Glo can offer a space on its tower infrastructure for Airtel. The other option is the third-party service, where an infrastructure company like IHS offers to provide infrastructure for two or more telecommunication network providers to mount their microwave radio or antenna. Collocation can also come in three components. We have the physical collocation, the remote collocation, and the virtual collocation. The physical collocation is the placement of equipment in a separate room within the premises of an interconnection providing operator, but which is under the control of an interconnecting demanding operator. Remote collocation, on the other hand, is the installation of equipment in a location near the premises of an interconnection providing operator, while virtual collocation is the placement of equipment in the equipment lineup of the interconnection providing operator and is being maintained by the interconnection providing operator. Infrastructure sharing on its own has two basic classifications. We have the passive or site infrastructure sharing and the active or network infrastructure sharing. The passive or site infrastructure sharing is the sharing of all civil engineering and non-electronic elements of telecommunication network infrastructure, such as poles, masts, ducts, fiber optic cables, etc. While the active or network infrastructure sharing is the sharing of all electronic elements of telecommunication network infrastructure, such as access node switches and broadband remote access server. Also, Guideline 4 and Guideline 5 of Guideline on Collocation and Infrastructure Sharing provided for infrastructures that are amenable to sharing and infrastructure that are not amenable to sharing. What I mean by amenable to sharing is infrastructure that can be shared and infrastructures that cannot be shared. NCC encourages the sharing of the following infrastructure. We have the right of way, we have antennas, we have poles, we have masts, electric power, we have trenches, we have space in buildings, and so on and so forth. Also, it is to be noted that there are also certain infrastructures that cannot be shared, provided for under Guideline 5 of Guideline on Collocation and Infrastructure Sharing. The infrastructures that cannot be shared and is discouraged by NCC include complete network structures, switching centers, radio network controllers, and base station. It is also to be noted that, subject to the discretion of NCC, from time to time or upon request by any telecommunication operator, certain infrastructures can be added to the list. Guideline 6 of Guideline on Collocation and Infrastructure Sharing provides that an operator who owns and controls a facility that is amenable to sharing must negotiate with another operator upon request in writing to share in the facility, on the ground that the facility owner will not obstruct or delay negotiation, will not refuse to provide relevant information necessary for agreement, and will not refuse to delegate a representative to facilitate the binding commitment. Also, a party that is receiving such request must reply within 30 days. Except in cases of emergencies, shared facilities can only be replaced upon due service of 60 days notice to the other party. And this other party can choose to file a petition against the removal or modification of such facility within 15 days. Going forward, there are certain terms and conditions stipulated under Guideline 7 of Guideline on Collocation and Infrastructure Sharing as to the grounds upon which application for infrastructure sharing can be refused. Application for infrastructure sharing can be refused where there is incompatibility with the facility, when there is insufficient capacity, or general engineering consideration. Also, under Guideline 11 of Guideline on Collocation and Infrastructure Sharing, application of collocation can be refused on the ground that where the operator does not have the available facilities, where the grant will be a breach of safety or reliability standard, and where the grant is technically unfeasible. Having said that, the benefits of collocation and infrastructure sharing are not far-fetched, and they include: 1. Collocation and infrastructure sharing offers telecommunication company and telcos and infracos, telecommunication company and infrastructure company, ample advantage in the face of health and cost implication of increasing numbers of increasing number of BTS sites. Also, like I said earlier, it reduces the operational expenditure and capital expenditure, as it is more affordable to share infrastructure or collocate than building one BTS site. It reduces proliferation of towers, that is, it reduces the rate at which we see towers and masts all around. It also reduces the cost of deployment. It enhances quality of services, and also reduces the routine maintenance by engineer. And the last one is that the stress of having to obtain approval or renew permits is always avoided. At this point, I would like to add that NESRA Regulation 3 sub 2F also encourages collocation and infrastructure sharing. Also, paragraph 9 sub 7A of Guideline on Technical Specification for Installation of Telecommunication Mast and Tower provide that the design and installation of the telecommunication mast, which exceeds 25 meters, must be done in such a way that it is going to accommodate three network service providers sharing the same facility. Now, I would like to add also that in event of conflict between the interconnection providing operator and the interconnection demanding operator, such conflict will be resolved by the Commission, subject to Guideline 16 of Guideline on Collocation and Infrastructure Sharing. And the decision of this commission will be final, except in cases of appeal to the court of competent jurisdiction. Lastly, I would like to add that collocation is different from interconnection of telecommunication network. However, guidelines on collocation and infrastructure sharing regard collocation as an element of interconnection. Dear viewers, I believe with this cogent point of mine, I have been able to take you on an expository and informative journey into the legal insights on collocation and infrastructure sharing. For more information, kindly visit our website at www.alemsolicitors.com and our LinkedIn page or other social media network at Alem Solicitors. Thank you for watching.